Would you buy a 3,000 US dollar handbag from ALO? Well, I guess some people would, because ALO's current handbag line is already on pre-order basis only and only available to see in select stores. But before anything else, if you're new here, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. I'm trying to reach 5,000 subscribers on this channel as my next goal, so if you haven't subscribed yet, I would really appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button down below. And if you want to connect with me in my socials, it's at TrishDLF on Instagram. This topic is a bit controversial. I do love my designer bags and I also love my athleisure. I do have a few pieces from ALO. I started buying ALO, I think, early this year. They had their annual sale, which is 30% off on their website, and so I just had to try a few pieces. I wanted to test out the quality of them because I've heard mixed reviews about their pieces. However, I've only had my pieces for about a few months right now, so I don't want to do a full review on them yet. However, they did release their new handbag line, and I just can't help but to talk about it and to express my opinions on them. I think it was about last month when ALO released their new handbag line, and they launched this new luxury handbag line, even if they're more of like an athleisure brand, because their creative director said that they're trying to target the market that buys Chanel, and their goal for their consumers is for them to start buying ALO handbags instead of Chanel. I don't know how they thought of that. In theory, it is possible. However, the execution didn't really go so well, in my opinion. I feel like, yes, it's very possible to make your target market start wearing ALO handbags instead of Chanel bags, especially during this time where a lot of teens and the Gen Z are more focused on health. The Gen Z are very focused on drinking their matcha and signaling a very active and healthy lifestyle. So I feel like ALO's goal is not very far-fetched. However, I feel like they executed this so poorly because the designs of the bags are just very basic. And honestly, when I first saw the marketing teasers of the bags, just the silhouettes, no details yet, I thought they were just like made in China bags. The silhouettes were all very basic designs, very standard, nothing that you haven't seen before, and yeah, it's just very bland. And honestly, even the structure of them, although just basing it in pictures, they really look like they were China made. However, we all know now that they are in fact made in Italy, which actually makes it a little better because their athleisure is actually made in either China, Vietnam, or Indonesia. The clothes that I have, I think they're made in Vietnam. So to hear that these bags were actually full leather and made in Italy, it actually helps in justifying the pricing, although I still don't think that they're worth it. So according to the website, these bags are made in Italy, they're in genuine leather, and they come with this little ALO crystal, which is called the ALO Intention Crystal. And I feel like this little crystal is just a little gimmick. It's their version of their LABUBU for their bags. I feel like this crystal is their little gimmick for people who are very spiritual, those who are really into their crystals, the cleansing type of crystals. However, I'm just not the type of person to buy into these little gimmicks, so I don't really care much for these ALO Intention crystals. I heard they will also sell them separately as like little bag charms. Now let's go on to the bags, and they released 4 different styles. There's the ALO Voyage or Voyage, ALO Tranquility, ALO Odyssey, and ALO Balance. Although these styles, I'm aware that they have different sizes as well. So let's first go on to the ALO Voyage. They have the duffel version and the daily version, and the duffel is really big. I actually saw people on TikTok already trying this bag on, and it's huge and it just really looks so bulky. I was just really turned off by how bulky it was. I mean, yes, it's made for the gym, but it's just obnoxiously large and it didn't fit any of the models at all. And I also heard that it was really heavy, so I just don't know about the functionality of this, if this is a bag that you can actually easily bring to the gym. The Voyage duffel is at 3,600 US dollars, which in peso is at around 208,000 pesos. And that's already a Loewe bag, or even like Louis Vuitton canvas bags, which are the same size. 208,000 pesos for an athleisure designer bag is actually very expensive, considering they don't really even have much heritage to their name. They are competing with French, Italian, and Spanish brands, which have been in the industry for decades. So to price yourself at that price point with a really not so great design, I don't want to say completely ugly, but it's just kind of a hard pill to swallow. Next, you have the Daily Voyage, and this is actually a bit smaller, and this is actually amongst all of the bags that they have, this is the closest bag in their entire line that I would actually buy. I feel like it's because it has the classic silhouette of the Louis Vuitton Speedy, or like basically a doctor's bag. It has a silhouette of a doctor's bag, and the size is small enough. It's not bulky. A lot of the bags in their collection are actually really big, and I think it's because it's to serve the purpose of a bag that you can bring to the gym and just dump all your stuff in. However, I prefer more compact bags, and if I were to get anything amongst all of these designs, I would get the Daily Voyage. The Daily Voyage is at $3,300 US, still very expensive, and also again at that price point, you can get something from a more heritage brand. The Daily Voyage comes in a black with silver hardware and a brown with gold hardware. The Voyage line is also made of calfskin leather. Next is the ALO Tranquility Tote, and this in suede leather. It comes in a black, a brown, and kind of a wine color. This one is at $2,300 US, which I feel like is the most affordable out of all their designs. However, just note that this is also just a plain tote bag. As I mentioned earlier, all their designs are very basic, so this is one of them. It's just a basic tote. A design that has been repeated over and over, and they didn't even really innovate anything on this bag. It's all very basic. I have no words because it's very simple and straightforward. It's a basic tote bag. You can honestly have this made in China for much cheaper. I don't know why it would warrant a $2,300 US price tag. I also saw this Tranquility Tote being modeled, and it's also a very big bag. Something about their dimensions, it's not very ergonomic. I don't know, there's just something wrong with the proportions of the bags. They look really huge, especially when these petite girls are carrying them, and they're not even the type of bag that's huge but it can be slouchy. They're huge and they're kind of rigid. So it's really kind of hard to understand the design process that they had with these bags. And I don't really know if they tested them out with actual users first, because I don't think it's very usable. They're just really big and kind of clunky. For the Tranquility Tote, it only comes in one size, so that's the only option that you have for the $2,300 US. Next is the ALO Odyssey, which in my opinion is already the most creative out of all the designs, because all their designs are very basic. So this is the only one that I see some sense of design towards. This one is in smooth calfskin leather, and it kind of has that like half moon shape design. According to the description, it's more of like a bowler bag design. And for me, it's the most innovative one in their lineup, because at least this one didn't really copy the full bowler type of design, because it has some curved edges towards the base of the body. So for me, that's the very, very tiny innovation that they did with this bag. So that's why I think it's more creative than the rest. This one comes in a plain black and a plain brown color. It comes with a shoulder strap and a long adjustable strap, which I think you can use crossbody. This one, again, like the shape of it looks good, but again, they made it so oversized. It's just so big. Maybe if they made a smaller version of this, I would like it, like the Daily Voyage. I'll just add the pictures here, and it's just really huge. Initially, when they posted pictures of just the bag, I thought, wow, that actually looks pretty okay in comparison to the rest. But when I saw the actual size of it, I got really turned off, because what the heck? Like, I'm not gonna be lugging around that huge of a bag. So this one, as much as I think this is the most innovative design that they have, it's still a no for me simply because of the size. This one is at $3,200 US. So again, very expensive. All the bags are expensive, so what can you do? And then finally, the cheapest in our lineup, the ALO Balance Bucket at $2,000 US. Honestly, upon seeing the picture, well, at least the first picture, which was in like, it looks like a grained calfskin type of leather, the leather just looked really cheap. Disclaimer, I haven't seen any of these pieces up close. It might be really good quality when I finally get to see it in person, but the pictures, they are just giving nothing. Especially the picture of this balance bucket in black with a grained calfskin. Like, it just really looks like a China bag, especially with all the creases on there. Like, it just didn't photograph well. I don't know if that calfskin is supposed to get really soft and if it's actually something that's really high quality, but just basing it off of the picture, it just really looks bad quality. Very disappointing bag for me, at least the one in the green calfskin, because the others actually photograph quite okay, the suede version. So there's a black suede one and there's a brown suede one, and they kind of look all right. They are the cheapest in the bunch, so if you want an entry level to ALO's designer handbags, this would probably be it. Maybe in the suede versions and not the full calfskin leather one, because it's very basic. I just have no words. Very, very disappointing bag. Again, a silhouette that you've seen time and time again, Louis Vuitton has the bucket bag, and I feel it's probably just the same price as this. Actually, a lot of the designer houses have this style of bag. So in my opinion, if you're just gonna be buying because you like the silhouette or the design of the bag, then just buy from another brand. Just buy from a heritage brand, because if you're just buying it because you like the style, it doesn't make sense, because a lot of other designers have this style. So this is the most disappointing bag in the bunch for me, but I feel like it's one of the more wearable ones because the size isn't too big. So this one is actually fairly sized in comparison to the rest. So that's about it. That was my opinion and review of the latest ALO handbag line. Honestly, I think that they really did have a vision. However, it has been very poorly executed. Perhaps if they get a new creative director to handle just the handbags instead of handling both the athleisure and handbags, I think that would make more sense. I think they can actually produce better designs than this. No offense, but TRASH. This not to say that I will never be buying any ALO handbags. Perhaps in the future, if they take my advice, they probably might hire a better creative director for these bags, and the bags might actually prosper. Their handbag line might actually get better. So we'll never know. But for now, on their current lineup, it's just very disappointing, and I would definitely recommend to not buy any of these. All of these handbag styles have an equivalent silhouette in other designer brands that have more heritage. So if you like the design of any of these bags, just go for the heritage brands. So that's about it. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, I would really appreciate it if you hit that like button down below to help the YouTube algorithm, and if you haven't subscribed yet, I would really appreciate it if you could. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!